better. Let me get my kids off the internet. We'll see if that helps.
Okay.
Okay, all children are off the internet, but I still see that I'm delayed. I don't really know
It
what
might
to do
just
about
be
it.
part of it. I don't know. I also like it also says like we're live here in stage 10, but it on my YouTube it's not live. So I
If
don't
we
know.
do just a straight YouTube live, we can't both be on. Is that right?
I didn't even have the option of doing a straight YouTube live. Like,
So
I don't even know what, like, how did you just did it the other day, right?
I do most of my recordings with YouTube Live. So I just go to YouTube, and then when you click the camera icon, it gives you the choice of either uploading or going live.
Right, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, when I go to live streams now it makes me like do an encoder, but I forgot that I saw that.
Let me see if it lets you bring other people. I don't think it does, though. I think that's the issue.
So weird.
If I click on the plus, it says go live.
All right. Let's see if I put it in be live in 1 minute.
Okay.
All changes saved. But like, I think, oh, it's like a different time zone. Weird. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't let you schedule for less than. Oh, waiting for hello love. Waiting. Oh, wait, it's on a different channel. Oh, I'm logged into the wrong channel. That's so weird. People may be seeing all of this.
Awesome. Hey, everyone.
I mean, I doubt anyone. Yeah, we're live. That's so funny. Okay, so note to self, clicking on the link in stage 10 that says Intuitive Art Stream Now Live Dashboard, it doesn't automatically log me into the right account. I have to manually log into the right YouTube account. So okay, well, we're here.
So do you want to do this here?
Maybe we should start over and delete this one.
I would think so, yeah.
All right. Let me turn up your volume too. Okay, so
it says live.
Okay, well, I just hit live and I'm going to go and check out our dashboard on YouTube just to make sure that we're going steady. We are. So hello, Intuitive Art community. This is Carrie and I's first attempt at the live stream using new software. So thanks for watching and participating if we don't just delete this right away. we're just testing things out here. We'd love to do more live streams with you guys and invite you, and so you can set reminders and do together and draw together. I happen to be dressed up as Intimate Alien today, though I am appearing as Rachel. And Carrie, thanks for making time for us today.
Yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, it is. I think I'm figuring this out, Rachel. I think that when you're speaking, I see the delay. So I think because it's live, we're viewing that like 4 second delay or 2 second delay or whatever it is. So, anyways, yay, I'm happy to be here talking intuitive art with you, Rachel, dressed like Intimate Alien with your new set in the background. I see lots of Intimate Alien-esque things going on behind you.
Yeah, and a cat, of course. There's always a cat. So she was like very busy designing and having me create this for her new YouTube channel. And we just had a meeting of the Star Being Club. So I am dressed up. And actually, it might be fun to do some drawings for this new YouTube channel today because she already has a lot of ideas for videos. And I'm like starting to get a little hesitant because her latest idea, which I have stalled on, is Alien spends $1,000 on makeup. And I think, yes, it would be a great YouTube video. But it's like, we already have so much makeup. But there is like a 7-year-old in our Star Being Club, and she thought that would be the greatest video in the world. And she wants to see an unboxing and a try on. So I think Intimate Alien knows what she wants and what people want, and I just need to go with it.
I know. I'm like, okay, well, do you want to draw on that? Because that sounds pretty clear that that's supposed to happen. So what is causing you to be hesitant about it, though?
I don't know. I guess I just think about, I guess there's just some shoulds in my head that I need to ignore. And I keep trying to tell myself that, like, I've cumulatively spent more than $1,000 on makeup easily, and like it's really not a big deal. I think what is probably happening is I'm just feeling the shoulds, and it's a good. And if I'm feeling them, right, in the words of Rachel, in the words of Carrie, it's on its way out. So no more shoulds when it comes to that kind of stuff or anything.
Well, it's just interesting, right? Because there's always going to be, all of us are dealing with that in one area of our life or another. And the shoulds, it's easy when someone says to you, like, you should do this or you shouldn't do that, right? It's so easy for us to be like, whoa, don't should on me. Let me check with myself. But when they're coming up within ourself, it's a totally different ball game, right? And we're all, I mean, I like to use the phrase anytime I recognize myself shoulding, like asking myself, should I do that? Or I don't think I should do this. Or a lot of times what I use for my should is I'm not ready to, right? Like there's a yet factor involved with the should. But ultimately I like to use the phrase, if I really wanted to, I could. Because for me, that just feels so much more open and so much more expansive. And then I can be like, okay, if I really wanted to, I could make an unboxing video of Intimate Alien buying $1,000 worth of makeup and getting her reaction. And then who knows what would come from that, right? If I really wanted to, I could. So then you get to ask yourself, what do I really want? Like, do I really want to?
Yeah.
And I can tell by looking at you, you do.
I know, I do. It's so funny. Yeah. It's so funny. I think one of the things that happens with me and her is that, she sees our world as just a fun playground, right? There's really nothing big, serious going on here. And when she wants to do things like play with makeup and buy makeup and like do silly things outside, like I think I wonder if I'm just making her do that because that's what's popular, there's this like, am I manipulating this to like, you know what I mean? And it's really, really not the case, which is even funnier. It's even funnier that it's not the case. Like, I was just channeling her in a, social situation, and she was like, I got, let's help Rachel get more allowing to let me do these fun things. So it was like so great. Yeah.
I love that. This is so funny that we're on the Intuitive Art channel and we're talking a lot about Intimate Alien. But I love that because that's like a parent-child thing, right? Like the child being like, how can we get my mom to be cool about this, right? Like,
Well,
and
I am wearing children's clothing right now that she picked out, so it's really, really apt.
well, and we had a conversation. I had a conversation with Intimate Alien a while back where I asked her, or someone in the group asked her how old she was. And she gave the really ancient number of years, like in the human timeline. But then she said, but I'm really young where I come from, right? On my planet, I'm really young. And so I think, as we're talking about, this is a whole different conversation. And I actually do have a drawing that I want to ask you about. But as we're talking about who we want to be, right, in this lifetime, we're all searching for uh, childlike wonder and
Mm-hmm.
and freedom and like all of the things that we had in childhood before the world should all over us, right? Before the world like told us all the shoulds and shouldn'ts and how to behave. Like what we're really wanting is the feelings we had before we knew better, if that makes sense. And so I love the Intimate Alien is this, and she's not alone, right? Abraham is super playful too.
Yeah.
Like in this, hey, it's all fun. It's all a big, I don't want to say a big game of make believe, but I kind of do. Like it's all a big game and it's supposed to be fun and we're supposed to play and nothing's wrong. And like, I love that it's these ancient wise beings are asking us or telling us to be more childlike. And so it's perfect. The Intimate Alien is decorating her set like a 7-year-old's room.
I
It's
know.
perfect that she's shopping for children's clothes. Like it all makes sense.
Yeah.
And what I have an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old. What 8-year-old wouldn't want to have $1,000 worth of makeup to just play with, not to try and look beautiful with,
Mm-hmm.
but to just play with, to try on, to see the different things. Like that's what children do. And yeah, I love that. I think as Rachel, right, as you get more and more comfortable with that, you give us permission to be more comfortable with that. And I know you do that with your Star Being Club. And I'll be honest, like I'm not there yet, right? I'm like, I'm not ready for makeup on my face in like, except on Halloween, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. But I love watching the freedom that it brings other people when you give them permission or you just stop the shooting, right? But about breaking arbitrary rules. It's freaking fantastic.
Yeah. And it is super fun.
Yeah. So do it.
Done. Yes.
Oh, and I'm excited to watch that video.
Thanks. So, I think maybe we could draw after your decoding about allowing more. But I'd love to see what drawing you have in mind today, or what you
Yeah,
already did.
so I'm happy to draw about allowing more because that is definitely a theme in my life right now, right? How can I do that? And I don't think I've specifically asked that question. I recently asked, how can I improve my relationship with money? Which
Mm-hmm.
that was really interesting too. And sometime soon, we'll decode this on the Intuitive Art channel, but because that was my answer. But today, I drew this. And let me see if I can show it to you. So the question was, there's, and it's so interesting because the situation has evolved since I looked at this, or since I drew this morning. So there's somebody in my life where it is the story in my head tells me that I need to tread lightly, or I need to be very careful in the way that I handle this relationship. And because I think I've talked about this person with you before, because I've tried to like be appropriate or do things like the right way, stay in my lane, like all of those things, I have not felt like I'm being 1000% truthful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling the truth. I'm being truthful. I'm being honest, but I'm also holding back. And the human part of me says, this is wise, right? It's wise to hold back. It's wise. I guess it's just inappropriate to just say everything that I'm feeling. And then the other part of me, the part of me who knows who I am and knows my gifts and my truth, is like, yeah, except for telling hard truths is kind of what you do, Carrie, right? So anyways, last night there were several emails from like different people, and you know how things can get lost in email, and some of them seem kind of angry. And I just was looking at it this morning, checking in with my own intentions around the situation. And I asked, what is my best path forward with this person? And here's what I got. So I can tell you what each thing means. I'm trying to get it to where the camera can see the whole drawing.
I'm going to change the screen up a little bit, and I'm going to put you in the big spot and then me in the little spot.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Okay. So here's my drawing. And I'll just tell you what the colors mean. So the first thing I put down was that yellow. It's a heart, but it's sort of an open heart right here. And that yellow for me is smile, it's satisfaction, it's ease. And then the orange, I think either orange or gray was the second one I put down. Orange is alignment. It is fully embodied self. It is joyful focus. Gray, I think, was the next color. Gray is mental confusion. It's cloudiness. It's feeling blocked. Gray feels like the ideas are there, but there's something right here that won't let me go there. And this green color is my color for stagnation, which, is usually a reminder for me, like, hey, there's something stagnant there. There's something old. It's not uncommon for gray and green to be in the same drawing. And then the last color is pink, which I haven't seen in a while. So I was excited to see pink, which pink is nurturing. It's relaxed. It's kindness. Pink is definitely gentleness and feminine energy. So I wrote these down this morning, but I didn't really take a minute to process. Like, I just wrote down the meanings. I didn't really let the drawing sink in. And then since then, like, the situation has evolved a little bit, and I think I'm meeting with this individual this evening, right? So now I'm thinking about this drawing in terms of like, how can I show up to meet with her this evening? So I'm just wondering what you see.
Well, and I'm taking into consideration what you said before showing me this too. So it seems to me like your main instincts are to be in alignment and to be gentle and to be kind and to be like in your own truth. And you have an outdated view that there's something wrong with that. And that's causing you to have some confusion. So like the stagnation part is like seeing that instinct in you of being truthful as bad or inappropriate. And underneath that is that the confusion, and that's what's making you second guess yourself. But the whole drawing, other than that, is like beautiful alignment and joy and kindness and nurturing. So I think it's just, this is asking you to look at that and maybe flip the story you're telling yourself, that there's anything wrong or inappropriate with how you would be approaching it. Because even when you said a hard truth, like, it's a truth is a truth, and a truth can be kind and loving even if you call it hard, right?
Yes. It's so interesting. So I know I'm good at telling people the truth, even when it's something that, that saying, the truth will set you free. I always feel like telling people the truth as I see it, right? Like, hey, in this instance, it might be, hey, I'm getting the feeling that you're doing all of this because you think it's what we want, right? Like, that's what I'm getting. And I've been afraid to say that for fear of like offending her. Like, I'm getting the feeling she probably doesn't even want to do all of the stuff, right? But we've been operating under the assumption that she does. Okay, now I know that people are like, what? What is she talking about?
Well,
But
I think it's normal to assume that talking to another person, regardless of who they are, whether it's your boss or your babysitter or whatever, like, having that real connection with them, that's what you're talking about, is saying, hey, look, like, what's your intention behind all this? Because if you're just doing it for us, we don't need this, or we could do it a different way, or this could be easier for you. That's what you're talking about, is like being real with someone that
yes.
you don't already have a really intimate relationship with. But even husbands and wives, I see this all the time. Like, my dad used to, work late, and it would be like, well, are you doing that for me, or are you doing that for you? Like, there's this thing of calling people out, almost like, what's your intention? And the way you even framed it was very loving and gentle. So I can see how it feels hard and it feels confrontational, maybe. But the way you said it was so beautiful and allowing and opening. Like, so go ahead. I just want to say how we can relate to it, even though we don't know the specifics.
No, thank you for saying that, because one of like the things that I always want to live my life by, right, is what's the most loving action? What's the most loving response, right? Whenever I come to anything. And sometimes the most loving action or the most loving response isn't what we would consider kind or gentle. It's true, and it comes from this loving place. But like, I'm thinking of example with my kids, right? Like, sometimes the most loving thing that I can do is take their phone away or restrict their whatever, because I'm believing that that's the most loving thing. And I think with this individual, it just feels awkward, but true. So thank you for this, Rachel, because as we're talking about it, what I'm recognizing is, again, this is not the first time this has happened with this person. I start to feel uncomfortable when I try and not live in my gifts, right? When I try and make myself smaller.
Yeah.
So to be gentle with her. Does that make sense? And so what I think I hear you saying, what this drawing is saying, is I can be gentle and still be in my fully embodied self.
Not only that, it's not I can be gentle and still be in my fully embodied self. My fully embodied self is gentle. My fully embodied self, my truth is a loving act. My truth is a loving act. Regardless of how you feel another person might perceive it, you can't do anything about that. There is no way that you can perceive for someone else.
Okay. So that is the other thing, right? Is the attachment to the outcome. I know, I don't know for certain, but I'm fairly sure, right? The outcome is good. The outcome is really good. The outcome of being in alignment and telling my truth is always good, even if it's not exactly what I wanted, right?
Yeah.
Or what I
Mm-hmm.
thought. And the outcome to not being in my alignment or my truth is always going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's always going to be like a half victory or like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, I'm someone who has spent my life doing this, being this, becoming this, right? And yet, just like you, feeling afraid to let Intimate Alien buy makeup and like do an unboxing, right?
Yep.
I'm afraid. Oh, this is hard to say. I'm afraid to show up in my fully embodied truth, in all my wonderful, loving gentleness, because I'm afraid of being too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that has to do with, it's a positional thing, right? Like if this is someone who had hired me, I wouldn't be afraid of that. If this is someone who I was, their athletic coach and they were on my team, like I wouldn't be afraid of that. But there's something sort of, even if this was like a friend who called me up and said, "Hey, I need your advice," I wouldn't be afraid. But this is like not quite that. It's mostly that, but there's some sort of weird, not quite that about it, where there's some like positional
So here's where I'm going to call you out.
Okay. Call me out, girl.
Your truth is your truth. There's no story behind your truth. So don't focus on the story or why it would make sense that you're feeling like that. You know what to do and you know it would make you feel better. I did the same thing. I'm calling myself out too. Your truth is your truth. Let it go there, right? We can either be looking in the direction of ease and alignment and relief, or creating more resistance.
You're right.
So just go there.
Okay. So I think that's the thing, which is just, it's so weird that even though we know, we still feel afraid.
You know what though? I mean, if you think back, I've been doing this a long time. I've been aware of my feelings and, I've had a lot of impulses and things I could do that were different from the masses. And I've been putting myself out there in a new way for a really long time. And how I show up changes. I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, I'm an intuitive artist, I'm an alien, I'm a business person. And every time I do something new, it's a little fearful, right? And that's okay. And the fear I feel now is way less than it used to be. I mean, I remember telling my boss and my coworkers at my publishing job that I was going to be doing psychic readings at a bookshop down the lane. And I had to tell them because I didn't want them to just see it and think I was quitting, my job. And I was so scared. I called it coming out of the psychic closet. I mean, it was terrifying. It was like, are they going to and I told I was a nanny before that, and I told that family, and I was so scared, like they would just completely shut their children away from me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like that anymore. Now it's just like, it's kind of a funny resistance. Oh my God, I'm in resistance. It's so funny, isn't it? I'm never in resistance. Like, same thing. Give yourself credit, girl.
All right. I'm giving myself credit. Thank you.
Yeah. You got this.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it will be good I'm grateful that I did this, right? Because honestly, I was feeling like it was going to be a difficult conversation or like
And that's
a
what
little
you thought
bit
about the last one, and it wasn't.
I know.
Yeah.
And so this is reminding me like, no, you got this. You're really good at this actually. Just live here. Yeah. Oh, that same story keeps coming up.
Yep.
Thank you, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know. I mean, it's what I love intuitive art. It's so reassuring, and it gives us so much confidence. And in fact, when I was opening up my drawing pad, and I just opened to the drawing I was thinking of course, sometimes it's easier to not do the action right away, right? Like this one, I did. Here, I'll make myself bigger now. We have this fancy system. uh, I was wondering which book project to work on a couple months ago, and I drew. This is one of the books that I drew, and it has my muddy color all over it. And so I knew that basically I'd have to overcome a lot of resistance in order to work on this project. And the other project was so much cleaner and clearer, I just went for that one. Because this one would have required a lot more focus and effort. And not that that's always bad, but when you have an easier path, take the easier path. For you, because you're so uncomfortable not living in your truth right now, having that conversation is the easier path because you'll feel so much better. Not living in your truth hurts, like physically hurts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's interesting for me is being patient and waiting, and like when I am aligned and I see what needs to be done and I know how to do it, and oftentimes I fully understand this is my gift. This is what I'm here for. This is how I can help. And I know that's sort of a dangerous thing, right? Is the idea of believing that like anybody actually needs my help, instead of
Well, you
just
can
knowing.
be helpful without believing that people need your help. I'm
Okay.
getting that too. I understand where you're coming from. Yes, everyone is a divine sovereign being with connection to source, and no one needs help, but you can still be helpful. You can be inspiring or uplifting, or because we're reflecting back to people their connection. That's helpful.
Yes. Yes, I know that I I'm sure there are lots of things I do well. But what I'm meant to do, right, is what I'm amazing at, what fills me up inside in one way or another, is to encourage, inspire, and uplift.
Mm-hmm.
And all that always comes with I've had people talk about it as my truth sword, right? Like like just cutting through the crap and getting through to the truth so that I can encourage, inspire, and uplift. And I think I've just been dancing around in crap, right? I've been dancing around the crap. And what this is reminding me, it's funny that I don't have an intuitive art color for truth. I just realized that. I guess the orange color would be the closest to that, right? That joyful focus and alignment. But I just recognize none of my colors like actually that word goes with. I don't think. Anyways, forgot where I was going with that, except for that you've given me, just in talking about this and looking at this, it's given me clarity in how I can show up despite the story that was going on in my head, right? The
Mm-hmm.
story that was going on in my head was like, be prepared, have an outline, like da da da. And really, my truth says there are a couple of questions you need to ask, and they don't have a lot to do with the reason that you're having this. They don't seemingly have a lot to do with the reason you're having this conversation, but they have everything to do with the reason you're having this conversation. And I think that I've believed, I have a knowing about this. I think I've believed that it's not polite or it's not appropriate, and I just got to stop that and be aligned. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I mean, is it appropriate for an alien to buy $1,000 worth of makeup for a YouTube video? I mean, what does appropriate even mean?
I think it's totally appropriate.
I think
Yes.
we've got to give up that word. I mean, you're not even from the East Coast, so like you don't even know appropriate.
Oh, that is true. I'm pretty sure I'm inappropriate and according to most East Coast standards. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so would you like to draw on what were we drawing on? How can we be more open?
Yeah, open and allowing. I think that would be great.
Okay, let's do it. Let me get my stuff.
So it says we have one person watching. If you're watching, say hi in the chat for sure. Let us know if you're drawing along with us. Can you believe we've been talking for 36 minutes on our new live stream?
No.
That's We're really crazy. Good at talking to each other.
Well, this is an important thing though, because what we always talk about, right? We're always going deeper into who we are, how we're showing up. Like, I feel like whatever we come with, it always leads, at least for me, it always leads to like a bigger topic, a bigger conversation. So
yeah,
just like this, that makes total sense. That how can I be more open and allowing? That's for you and for me with the crap that we brought today.
Yeah, but it's everything, right? I mean, the only thing keeping us from living our absolute dream life with every single little thing we've ever preferred or asked for is our own resistance. So if we can be more open and allowing, that's all there is to life, and making it easier and more fun and more amazing. Because it's already, all the resources are already there. And let me tell you something else, just before we get into this. This is a really funny thing that came up even in my Star Being Club. And I guess I'll just plug it. If you're interested in dressing up once a month and embodying your inner star being, go to starbeingclub.com and sign up. You know, Intimate Alien had this idea a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, you know, that'll be fun. We went online and like added, you know, we put stuff in our cart and we shopped together, and it was really fun. And then I was just like, maybe we won't buy it right now. And I was like, you know, Intimate Alien, you don't have money, so you're not used to this feeling like there's some, you know, because really what it's showing me is I have a feeling that there's a limitation. And that's not really true. But I was like, Intimate Alien, you can help me with this, help me allow and let me embody more of your energy. And that's really when all these ideas for the Intuitive Art Academy came up, of offering sessions through our website and, you know, bumping things up here even, like, so Intimate Alien's been very busy allowing me into more abundant mindsets and ideas. So thank you, Intimate Alien.
Yeah. Well, and isn't that funny? Like we all have, I mean, you have a beautiful embodied, channeled, like almost someone else that you can trust, right? You can have a conversation with Intimate Alien, go shopping with Intimate Alien, but we all have that voice.
Yeah. It's just another version of a higher self. Yeah, you have that. Yeah. That's your intuition. That's your own excitement. Give it a name if you want to, if it would be more fun for you. Okay. How can I be more open and allowing?
All right, let's draw.
To my bigger energy, right? If you need something to attach, if that doesn't mean anything to you without something attached to the end of it, how can I be more allowing to my bigger energy, or to source, or whatever?
Interesting indeed.
Do you want to go first?
I'm still decoding, so if I'm not as fast as you with the decoding, but I could also decode in real time. Let me just get some things written on here.
I'm out of beverages. That's never happened before. So if you're watching this, let us know if you want us to do more live streams.
Yeah.
I think yes. I mean, I just really like talking to Carrie, and this is really fun.
Well, and hopefully, right, people who are watching live are drawing along, or
Mm-hmm.
if you're not drawing along, that you're resonating with the conversation.
Yeah, and also if we schedule more, you'll be able to set a reminder on YouTube so that you can join us, and it will tell you when we're coming up and when we're live. So you can come in, you can ask questions, we could even draw for you. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, we just did this one as like, hey, let's get together and talk and see how we like it.
Yeah, we're really just testing out this new software. So, yeah, but I think it's going great. I really like the adaptability of the screen and how I can, make the person showing their drawing bigger.
Yeah. Okay. I've written all my words on the page. But it's except for I see a color that has resulted from the smearing of colors, which is okay. Okay. Yeah, so you can tell me about yours or I can tell you about mine.
I guess I'll go. Okay. So, how can I be more allowing? It's kind of like all of my allowing colors. So, in the middle, this is my ease and wealth color. And so what I'm taking from this, even before I get into everything, is like this is where I can focus. These are the feelings I can feel during the day, and then I'll probably get a specific actions maybe at the end, but focusing on ease and wealth, and then going outward. Here's contentment for me, like the tannish color. So I can already think in traffic instead of being like, why is that dude cutting me off? In my head, I can be relaxed about it. Like my actual focus every single moment matters. And I can just remind myself here, like there are bigger fish to fry, and I can be relaxed more often, even more relaxed than I am already. And then the brackets kind of on the outside are joy. So I think framing my day, what would be joyful to do today? Like keeping on my makeup was joyful to me, and so I did it. I could have wiped it off before this, but I thought it would be fun. And then in the middle is like a star of alignment. So I think the star is telling, star being, feeling like a star, feeling my connection to everything. My shirt today says, we are all made of stars. So there's definitely something to the star quality. And also, I think it's letting myself be a star. Like, I can be an influencer. I can be whatever I want. I can be, Abraham said that like a person really living in alignment, really living in their joy is going to look arrogant. And I think that's true. And most people are going to perceive that kind of energy and embodiment and happiness and contentment and ease and wealth and joy and all the things on my page as arrogance, or who do they think they are, or whatever. And I think that is the hurdle, Carrie, that we keep bumping up against. And that's what I am continually being met with. Like, it's okay. You create you. You create you. You create you. And we create reactions. So the more okay we are with that, the softer that will feel. So I think that is, how can I be more allowing, is more accepting that I really want to be a star, and I am a star, and everything is great, and I can just feel relaxed and content and happy and in alignment all the time. That's pretty much it.
That one got a yawn out of me, Rachel.
Nice.
And hells to the yeah. What you just said about arrogance helped me so much, because that is my fear, right? It comes down to the shoulds we were talking about at the beginning, and the, the who does she think she is, right? That so many of us deal with, or, everything our parents told us growing up, like, be awesome, but don't get too big for your britches, right? And it's, yes, thank you for that. And I saw all that in your drawing. And when I saw that blue star in the middle, I instantly saw your star being club. And again, I didn't know we'd be plugging this so much, but I don't think it's a coincidence. You showed up right after it. You're still dressed as Intimate Alien. And that is a place, a safe place for you to be 100% fully all the embodiedness of you. It's a great place for you to, like, how can you be more open and allowing? Well, you're doing that in your Star Being Club and everything that represents. So there you go on that. All right, here's mine. Dun, dun, dun. The first thing I put down is actually, it's hard to see, it's white. And there's actually, maybe that wasn't I think I put down white twice. That's why. So the first thing was a white squiggle, and it's underneath everything on there. And white for me is pure, open, allowing, and angel guidance. And it's funny because white means angel guidance to me, and yet I almost never call on angels. Like, I'm quick to go to my higher self. I don't have much, I don't give a whole lot of thought to angels or talking to angels, or like in, recruiting a team of angels. And I know that that's possible and lots of people do it, but I find that interesting that that's what that color means to me. And clearly I haven't like gone there. So that's interesting right off the bat, right? Is like, hey, angels, how can you be more open? And how can I be more open and allowing? Listen to angel guidance, which means I actually have to be open to the fact that there are angels out there guiding me, which sounds weird to me, right? Mm-hmm. And then the second thing I put down, I think, was this light blue, which is healing. And I feel like that is forgiveness. So I actually think it's a whole lot of self-forgiveness. In order to be more open and allowing, I have to forgive myself for just a lot of stuff. And then I think, I don't know what I put down next, but there's some blue, which blue is, there's a heaviness to it. It's worry, it's concern, emotional tension. But then what's on top of the blue is these little white bubbles, which are just sort of like, hey, listen up. Listen to your angels. Forgive yourself. Whatever, like, residual worry, tension, crap, right? You've got, blue just has a heaviness, like a serious feel to it. Again, these little white bubbles show up on top of that, which is like, remember be open, be allowing, listen to your angel guidance. And then the brown, which is being grounded, feeling solid and rooted. And brown always has the a feeling of slowing down, right? Like it's a slow pace that comes with brown. And then this is where I'm a little confused. On top of that, this is a lot of stuff in one drawing, right? On top of that is this red color, which red is fieriness and passion and energy. And it's sort of like sometimes it feels red can have anxiety with it, but it's really that anxiety is just energy. And then there's a spot where the red becomes purple. And that is, for me, that color purple is its wealth, its luxury, and it's remembering that that is my divine right. So, how can I be more open and allowing? If I put all that together, is I feel like the practices laid out in here are pay attention to angel guidance and do my grounding practices. Everything else I feel like is information. And forgiveness. Everything else I feel like is stuff that I need to know. But it seems like if I do that stuff, then the red and purple are easy peasy. But I'm wondering if that's what you're seeing.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm gonna hold up your drawing. We both have a star in the middle. Do you see your star?
Mm-hmm.
Your brown star?
Yep. And I kind of have a bluish one too.
Yes. And in the middle, my green means basically the same thing as your purple.
Right.
Yeah. I just really think that's amazing. And
that is amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. You know, what I don't understand from, I think if I were reading your drawing, I would read it backwards. I would go straight for the middle and align with that. This is my divine beingness.
Okay.
And everything else is done. Like there could be, I don't really resonate with the idea of forgiveness because your higher self never looks back. So anything that's already happened. You can't change it. So what is there to forgive? This moment, you can focus on anything you want, and whatever you focus on, you create. So why not focus on that divine luxury and wealth and connection?
So as you were saying that, I recognized I'm using the word forgiveness, but what I'm really talking about is grace.
What does that mean?
Being gentle with myself, allowing, accepting what is, right? It's that when I say, it's an interesting thing. I'm interested to know what people watching think about that word grace, because when I talk about forgiveness, I'm talking about having grace with myself. I'm talking about, which just means remembering that. What does it mean? Assuming the best intention, like assuming the best, knowing we do the best we can where we are, like that. I don't know exactly the word for grace, but when I think about extending grace to somebody else, I think about like giving them the benefit of the doubt, or believe and not continuing. If I'm going to have grace with someone, it means not continuing to make them feel bad or continue. Like it just means being kind and loving and gentle, I think, to that person.
Okay, I get that. To me, like forgiveness is looking back. And you're talking about living in the moment in a gentler way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
Although
if
I
that...
heard, no, it means it's the same. I heard Oprah once talk about forgiveness as saying, thank you for giving me, right? Whatever I got from that experience, which that to me is grace, right? That's looking at, I suppose it's just, I should look these words up, but what I'm feeling about it is there's a transformational quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So either way, how can I be more open and allowing? Yeah, when I look at it, when I read it, it's all the same words, right? But when I read it from the middle and it's the same advice, but it doesn't feel so convoluted, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know, it's funny. It's like, if I read mine from the middle, it's like focusing on my wealth and ease. It's like this all emanates.
Mm-hmm.
There's no working in. It's just everything is that. So what do we have to do? Be our star selves. And not like alien star, like whatever star we are. Our true alignment.
Yes, which reminds me of drawings we did, I don't know, like a month ago when red was showing up a lot in my drawings.
Yeah.
And it was basically saying, like, show up in your awesome.
Mm-hmm. And not everyone knows this, but Carrie runs a mastermind that I'm a part of. And that was like the theme of our last month meeting.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted that. Everyone wanted to be their awesome selves more often. I think we're doing it because it's still showing up. You know, that's something, it's like everything with fear and being this, it's an evolution. It's a moment by moment choice. It's not something that's done. You live it. And so I think this is meaning, you know, we're living it more and more and allowing more and more, and allowing our star selves to be who we are. That is the greatest way of allowing. How are we going to allow ourselves to have everything we want if we're not allowing ourselves to be who we really are in every moment?
I think this is so funny that we're having this conversation because this is not new to either of us.
Nope.
And I am sitting here feeling extremely uncomfortable about the idea of that. And I know you've been through this too. Like,
I go through it all the time. It's never ending. There's always more you can be. And so there's always a new level of resistance that we're letting go of.
And I just think it's so fun because the answer to the question, how can I be more open and allowing, is basically like, at least for me, remember that what you want is your divine right. Listen to guidance, ground, and all of that is kind of on top of the healing, the concern, and the having grace with yourself, and like all of it. Like, it's sort of telling me, I read it, I don't think it matters if I read it forward or backwards, the message is still the same, right? And I feel like this having grace with myself, this self-forgiveness, if you want to call it, is about like, Carrie, you don't have to censor yourself. Like, I can have grace with, it sounds so weird to think that I can forgive myself for being awesome. But I think that that's what, like,
and I think that's the letting yourself, like, it's, Carrie, it's okay that you want to be awesome. Carrie, it's okay that you want to be too much. Carrie, it's okay that you want to be you.
it's just so funny, right? Because there are people who know me who are like, this, I think this happens to everybody, right? Like the people who know us the best, when we have like a revelation of like, oh my God, I just have to, like, I'm actually claiming what I'm really good at, or claiming like, I need to be doing more of this or whatever. People are like, yeah, duh.
I know.
Like, duh, of course. But there's this fear about, I think it's the arrogance thing that you were talking about, and about like knowing the bigness of what each of us is here to do and feeling into the uniquely wonderfulness of that call of our own soul. And then wondering or worrying or whatever it is, right? About like what we were talking about before. Is that a real thing? Can I actually do that? Is it appropriate? Like all of that stuff, the shoulds are piled on top of that as this is how I'm perceiving it, as I'm trying to fit what I want to do in a box that just either doesn't exist anymore or doesn't apply, or like, yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
And this is where my practice of not going to where you're going to right now has really helped me. I'm sitting in front of a child's like playground, and I allowed myself to do that because it's fun. And I'm an alien, channeling an alien, making a YouTube channel that's probably going to appeal to like 7-year-olds. And I'm allowing myself to do that because it's fun. And I'm not thinking like about the parents, and I'm not thinking about, are people going to think she's real or fake? I'm not, you know what I mean? There's so many places I could go. There's so many boxes I've smashed because I stopped, for the most part, they're still there a little bit, trying to analyze it. Just listen to your instincts. Listen to where do you want to go? Where is the joy? Where is the fun? Where's the curiosity? Where's the excitement? You don't have to know where it's leading you. That's how you get there. That's how you move forward. You stop trying to figure it out and you just do what you want to do. Little by little, it gets easier and easier and easier. And there's still some snags, like that's what we started talking about today. But you want to build the momentum in the side of ease and allowing yourself to move forward instead of the censorship.
Yep. And that has been a theme for so long with me. Every time I think I'm done censoring myself, I show up on a day like today where I'm in all kinds of internal self-censoring.
And the way out is to say, but you showed up and you're here and you're live online and you are making videos consistently for us. And like the way out of that is to have grace, be like, but Carrie, you're doing it. You're moving forward. The momentum's going in the right direction. That's where you lean into.
Well, and so this is what I want to say about Intimate Alien. When you were talking and you were like, the channel will appeal to 7-year-olds. I found that funny and so true. Like it never occurred to me, but the minute you said it, I was like, of course. And then I was thinking about someone we both watch, right? Like we both follow Colleen Ballinger, whose audience is way younger than we are. Like truthfully, the only reason I follow her is because my kids follow her, right? But now I'm all into like, but I wouldn't have found her on my own doing the things that I do online. But all that to be said is yes, yes, yes. And who needs Intimate Alien? Like, where can Intimate Alien? Oh my gosh, of course the 7-year-olds or the 10-year-olds or that, like, oh, that makes so much sense. And what does that mean for the rest of us? We don't know, right? Right now, Intimate Alien has spent most of her time talking to middle-aged businesswomen who adore and who are learning from her. But like, yeah, where's she headed? Imagine, I guess this is what I'm saying. Imagine the world we could live in if more young people are learning from Intimate Alien.
See, yes, and famous Carrie words. I think it's happening this way because they are in the same resonance and frequency as her. So it's not like Intimate Alien's going to show up and be this guru for them. They're already vibrating at the same place that she is. It's just a match automatically. Like, none of us planned this, but that's probably what's going to happen. And it's perfect because they're the same. These kids coming in, they know where they're from, you know?
So I have to tell you this. We have these friends who came over the other day, and they were just surprised with their third pregnancy. And the mom was, she's, the way she described it is like, she's getting used to the idea, right, that there's going to be a third. But she was definitely overwhelmed and like not expecting this. And you know, of course, they're happy about this baby. But the way that they found out about it was that their 6-year-old daughter said, "Mommy, Jesus told me you have a baby in your tummy." And she was like, "No, I don't." And then she was thinking, because she had adjusted her birth control and some things, and she started to think, gosh, when was my last period? Like, she basically took a test for peace of mind, and her daughter was right. Like, and what they said was, because I'm like, yeah, that's rad. That's awesome that you listened to your kid. That's awesome that you believed, right, that she's getting this guidance. And they said, yeah, she's totally clairvoyant. Like, she does stuff like this all the time. And I just love that. I love that as parents, they were like open, I think, to the idea that their kid could be hearing the truth. And yeah, I just love that. And you're right. Like, my kids did that too. I don't know how true this is, but my daughter, when she was young, and this stopped, it was when she was very young, she would say to me, "Remember when I was the mommy and you were the kid?" And I just thought, these are weird things that kids say. And then I saw a psychic later, and she was like, "This isn't your first rodeo with your daughter, but the last time she was the mother and you were the daughter." And I was like, holy crap. She used to talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, and you talking about that makes me even more excited for Intimate Alien and for this other channel. And it reminds me, and then we'll wrap up because I know we've been on a while. When I used to show my art frequently in like New Haven, Connecticut and that area. And one time I had this whole room to myself, and I had like art quilts then and paintings and all kinds of stuff and a huge sculpture, a life-size sculpture. And I also wanted to decorate my room because I had it all to myself. And so I just had this like very loose bunting, like little like squares of fabric, safety pinned together and just hung up like that. And it wasn't art. I liked playing with fabric. I still do, obviously. And every person that walked into the room liked that and noticed that first. And if they said anything more to me, then that was like a bonus. But most people just pointed to that and said something. It's because I wasn't trying. I was just having fun, doing my thing in my element, and I thought it was a good idea. And when you stop trying, like I was, at that point, it was like I was starting to become popular as an artist, and like I was like, "Ooh, I should have a statement," like the whole art world is something else, but
and the should, right? I should.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So it's just it's so funny. Okay, I think we've talked enough. A theme emerged today.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to talk about it with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I just got to tell you, good stuff has come out of it, right? You and Intimate Alien are clear on your next steps. And I am super clear on how I need to show up this evening for this conversation. And it feels so much better going in with that feeling
Good.
than it does going in with how I felt before the call. So thanks.
Yes. So friends, if you've gotten this far, thank you for watching. I mean, I think this was a valuable conversation to be a part of. I love these kinds of chats. And let us know if there's, another theme you want us to do, or if you want to be able to have your drawings, if you want us to do drawings for you, etc. We're excited. We'll do more live streams. We'll schedule them further out from now on so that you can remind yourself and pop on and join us. So thank you. Go to intuitiveart.com for more information about everything. And that's it. Thanks, Carrie, so much.
Thanks, Rachel. I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.